Most people hear the name Rockefeller and think rich family, old money, or the man who owned everything. But the truth is way more interesting than that. John D. Rockefeller didn't start rich. He built his fortune from almost nothing, during a time when most people were just trying to survive. This is the real story of how a quiet, disciplined kid from Ohio became the richest man in modern history, and how he built a business empire that still influences the world today. Let's start at the beginning. John D. Rockefeller was born in 1839. His father, William, was what people back then called a traveling salesman. But in reality, he was a con artist who disappeared for months, leaving the family to struggle. His mother, Eliza, was the opposite, strict, religious, and incredibly disciplined. Because his father was unreliable, young John learned early that if he wanted stability, he had to create it himself. At age 16, he got his first real job as an assistant bookkeeper. He wasn't strong, he wasn't charismatic, and he wasn't a natural leader. But he had one skill most people never develop. He paid attention to the numbers. While other teenagers were out drinking or wasting time, Rockefeller was studying interest rates, transport costs, and how companies made and lost money. Later he would say, "Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great." But this wasn't motivational talk, he lived it. By age 20, Rockefeller saved every dollar he could. He tracked every expense in a small notebook. And then he did something almost nobody at his age would dare to do. He started his own business. He and a partner opened a small company that traded goods. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught him the basics. How to negotiate, how to buy low and sell high, how to keep calm when others panicked. He didn't get rich from this business, but he learned the one thing that would eventually make him unstoppable. Control what you can. Prepare for what you can't. In the 1860s, America discovered something new: oil. At that time, oil wasn't used for cars yet, but it was extremely valuable for lamps. People needed kerosene to light their homes, and demand exploded overnight. Everyone rushed in to make money. It was like the crypto rush of the 1800s. But while others were drilling oil wells trying to get lucky, Rockefeller saw something else. Wells dry up, but refining is stable. So instead of gambling on finding oil, he built one of the first oil refineries. He didn't want to strike gold. He wanted to process gold, no matter who found it. This decision changed everything. Rockefeller was extremely disciplined. He reinvested everything. How can we make this cheaper? How can we do this better than everyone else? By focusing on small improvements, his refinery became the best run in the country. In 1870, he formed Standard Oil, and then he did something that scared every competitor around him. He started buying everything: pipelines, barrel factories, warehouses, railway deals, delivery networks. Every part of the process went from the moment oil left the ground to the moment a bottle of kerosene reached a home, passed through his control. He didn't leave anything to chance. This strategy allowed him to cut prices so low that many competitors simply couldn't survive. People complained he was too aggressive, but his response was always the same: competition is a sin. He believed in total control, not in a small area, not in a city, but across the entire country. At his peak, Standard Oil controlled about 90% of all oil in the United States. Let that sink in. One man controlled almost an entire industry. But power always attracts enemies. Journalists attacked him. The government attacked him. Competitors hated him. People said he was a monopolist, a tyrant, a dangerous businessman. And eventually, the US Supreme Court forced Standard Oil to break up into dozens of smaller companies. Most businessmen would have been destroyed by this, but Rockefeller wasn't like most businessmen. When Standard Oil was divided, he became the largest shareholder in every new company created from the breakup. These companies later became giants: Exxon, Chevron, Mobil, and others. So instead of destroying Rockefeller, they made him even richer. People know him as the richest man ever, but what they often forget is that he became one of the biggest philanthropists in history. Why? Because his mother raised him with the belief that giving was a duty. Rockefeller donated money to scientific research, the creation of universities, medical studies, and humanitarian programs. He funded the discovery of cures for diseases like yellow fever. He helped millions of people he would never meet. When he died in 1937, America was a different country because of him.